Too early to say Cam is just a guy. Way too early. First of all, he's coming off a catastrophic injury. Usually a catastrophic injury, give it a year to get back, to where you were. But secondly, he's going to a whole new scheme, a whole new place, a whole new coach, a whole new system. Thirdly, he's dealt with COVID this year. Like personally, he had COVID. Plus the facilities were shut down on a team without any talent. Their defense isn't there since the offseason, right? Chung and Hightower, and they lost Gilmore for a while. And their offense was non-existent last year. Everyone complained about what Brady had to work with last year. Cam has less than Brady had last year. So when you add all that up, the fact that Cam Newton and the Patriots have a win against the Dolphins, the Raiders, now the Cardinals, and they came one play away from beating the Seahawks and one play away from beating the Bills, and they're one game above 500. You change 2 plays, they're 7-4. That Cam is just a guy. Way too early to say, given everything he's dealt with, including coming back from injury. Keep this in mind, Stephen A. When Cam was at his best, he was never a top 10 QBR quarterback, but he was the MVP. He was voted by his peers the best player in the game. He took a team to the Super Bowl where he was his own best running back and his tight end was his best receiver. Who's his best receiver now? He doesn't have any real receivers to work with who anyone would consider that's a guy who'd start on a lot of teams. And who's his best running back? As usual, him. Only now he doesn't have a defense. And he's one game under 500? You can't call him just a guy. Not yet.
Are you finished? Finished? Because I didn't interrupt on purpose. Because you see, here's what makes me here's what to me makes your position laughable. So Tom Brady, and long before he was 43, had he had reached a cliff that ultimately became a ravine. Did you know that Tom Brady, other than his first year as a starter, has never thrown less than 23 touchdowns in a season? Ever. Cam Newton only did that 3 times in his career. Do you know that right now Cam Newton has got 4 touchdowns and 9 interceptions? Do you know that age where it's a little extra dust collected on your birth certificate, according to you, that's the death knell for quarterbacks? It doesn't necessarily have to be a trigger number. It has to be the fact that age and attrition has kicked in and you just ain't what you used to be. Now, you might not be that way in your 40s, Ryan, when you throwing the football. But isn't it considerably sooner when your success is predicated on your ability to run the football? In other words, you don't have to be 40 then. You can be 30, but because you were successful running the football in your 20s, once you hit that 30 mark, because Max Kellerman, you can appreciate this. Turn off those highlights for a second, please, because I want to look at Ryan and Max when I'm saying this. I don't give a damn about those highlights right now. Let me tell you something. We look at running backs, and we say to running backs that your career is coming to an end because you've hit the trigger number of 30. Well, even though you're a quarterback, if your success is predicated on your ability to run the football, why isn't the same applicable at that particular moment in time? We've always known that Cam wasn't the most accurate passer in the world, but his athleticism and his wheels are what we placed faith in. Is it possible that because you might have lost a step and your ability to run the football effectively and absorb punishment the way that you did when you were in your 20s is no longer equal to what it used to be? Because of that, combined with your consistent inability to be the most accurate thrower in the world, even though he's competing 66% of his passes right now, is it possible that because of those elements, he's just another guy?
It is, Stephen A.
The answer is
possible.
Yes, he is.
Yep.
Period. As of right now, that's how he looks.
The answer is yes, it is possible, but it is way too early to say. He's way too young, and he's leading a team that is overachieving. And so, what's the key to any kind of success in the NFL is coach quarterback. So is Belichick the greatest of all time? Sure, but just look at the season for a second. I put the schedule up while you were talking. They beat the Dolphins. They lose by 1 play to the Seahawks. They beat the Raiders, and then he gets COVID. All right, he gets COVID. What do you want? He doesn't play against the Chiefs. We all said it on the air, this dude might be still feeling the effects, and then he talked about it later, losing to the Broncos and Niners. Then what happened? a one-play loss to the Bills, beat the Jets, beat the Ravens, lost to Deshaun Watson, who played lights out, and just beat the Cardinals. Like, he has too many quality wins, and the middle of the season where he wasn't good, COVID. Like,
He
what,
beat the
think
Cardinals.
about what this dude is
Yeah,
dealing
hey,
with.
Max,
He beat the
The
Cardinals.
point is, he's the
Max,
quarterback who's leading the team.
Max, I understand that. And listen, we talk all the times about wins. I don't necessarily know if wins are always a quarterback-driven stat. But here's what I know. I'm not saying that Cam Newton is done. I'm saying that he's just another guy. And so when I say he's just another guy, I say he's that middle of the pack guy. He's that guy that can make a play every now and
Like
then
Tom Brady.
when you need it, that makes a team that makes a team be exceedingly better than they should be that day, but he doesn't do that for an entire season. You don't decide that when you get him on your team, you're now on a different tier than you were before he entered. And I think that's what we're saying about Cam Newton. We're just saying he's the middle of the pack.
Right.
We're saying that there are 12. Yo, what's up, Stephen A?
Did you just hear what Max slid in there? He said, like Tom Brady. So now Cam is like Tom Brady.
Middle of the pack.
Tom Brady
the
like
middle of
that?
the pack.
Smirk after.
Is that what you're saying?
Hold on, here's the difference. They're both middle of the pack, but Tom Brady is on a totally loaded team and didn't have COVID, where the facilities weren't shut down for days at a time, consecutive weeks. And Cam Newton has nothing on the team, did have COVID, and is one game under 500. Like, are they both middle of the pack?
But thing is, though,
only Cam.
Ryan, Max, I got a question.
Cam is
Max,
coming back from catastrophic
the
injury.
segment ain't
question.
about Tom, though. We're
Have
talking
you
about
ever
Cam.
seen, Ryan, has there ever been a day, has there ever been any year, even his MVP year, has there ever been a year that we looked at Cam Newton and said, he's a better quarterback than Tom Brady, he's a better passer than Tom Brady? Ever.
Not passer, but better quarterback, yeah. Better player.
No, he was a better player
He won
before,
the
though.
MVP, Stephen A. Yeah.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.